the road, the American dream, baby. The bull of the woods, if you will, out here in public, reminding you to listen this week and every week to the 1973 podcast, baby. Make sure you tune in for a good time, if you will. And tell them that the dream sent you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, here we go again. Bradford rocking the new Phantom t-shirt, buying the swag. I love it. More swag to come. Thomas sold 2 books this week. Just saying.
Nice.
Gotta promote all things pets. We'll get to that later. Had a moment this week, tough week. A lot of things to talk about. Yeah. So let's get right into it. What we do is we usually start with the email. So let's get right into it, Edwin, and take it away.
All right, this is brought to you by GoonGuard, GoonGuard.com. Check them out. Best mouthpieces around. Use the discount code 1973. Okay, this is the email from Samuel from, I can't even pronounce that, Rotorua, New Zealand. Man, we are going cross continents out here. I bet you has some really good Sauvignon Blanc out there. You know, some Oyster Bay or some Tim Crawford or something like that out there in New Zealand.
Let me interject right before you read the email about New Zealand. Tom, you can confirm with the analytics, our podcast is worldwide. We've gone really deep with some of these countries. The only one that I haven't seen any bings from is that great country of Russia. Ed?
They got some stuff going on right now.
Yeah. Take it away.
All right. So this is from Samuel. Hey, 1973, as a person who always wanted to be in the podcast world, where do you see your podcast in 10 years? I'm going to kick it to you fellas first.
Well, let's go with the man that is our true north, the professor, our Gordon Soley, our Jim Ross. Tom, where would you like to see the podcast in 10 years? What would you envision in your brain?
10 years? 10 years, I've got my own show. See you guys. I'm simulcast on ESPN.
Damn.
No, so hopefully we've grown a little bit, hopefully.
Shawn Michaels, man. Damn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can build it enough where we're making a little bit of money from this, Who knows?
Bradford, what do you got?
Well, if Tom is the Shawn Michaels of the crew, does that make me Marty Jannetty?
I think that makes,
low man.
I think that makes the Phantom Marty Jannetty. He'll love that one. What do you think?
I like in 10 years. I mean, I like to see us, right here, man. We're all sitting around sipping some fine spirits, some bourbons, reading these new books that just got recently delivered.
Now you know who bought the book, Andy.
Right here, Brad. Right.
It's not where your podcast is going to be in 10 years. It's where your friends writing books are going to be at in 10 years, man. So go get a book, get a shirt. That's what I care about, man. This, I've known you guys for when did I start?
Maybe a year ago, Brad.
It was right after the football. It was like October. So not quite a year, but I feel like I'm a part of the family. I'm all in on it. So 10 years, who knows? Maybe we'll be here. Maybe Tom will have a solo project. Who knows?
I won't forget you guys. I'll come back and guest star every once in a while.
Yeah, for a fee.
As long
right?
as you pay me.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask our marketing department, our Mouth of the South, Ed, where do you see the podcast 10 years from now?
Well, I think that we've made some good. I think we've made some good choices, and we've been very consistent, showing up every week. Putting the boots on. Like you know what I mean. Like paying our dues. Saying our prayers, eating our vitamins. We're gonna fill our shoes. You know what I mean. And if anybody knows the promo, sometimes the cream rises to the top. It takes a while. But being serious, I'd love to see this in 10 years where, all of us could be, doing this. It's a great opportunity for all of us to get together every either Friday or Saturday night, see each other for an hour. Andy, Tom, like what we used to do back in the day. Brad and Chris, we brought you guys into the fold. And this is what we used to do. We used to strap them on, go out and play hockey, and stand on the parking lot for 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 8 hours. And so this was just a great opportunity for everybody to kind of get together, no matter how busy life is. Zoom is a wonderful platform for all of us to get together. So if we can maybe turn some money and make some money at this, and alleviate some pressure from us as we get older, and as we get a little bit more decrepit and whatnot, that would be helpful. So it's just really, this was Andy's idea to get everybody together, and can't thank him enough for doing this. And it's really about getting together with friends. So can't thank him enough for this.
I think if you look at the big picture, the hardest part is behind us. I think now it's just the road has been paved. We just need to, keep traveling down that and bringing people closer together, bringing people on that maybe were afraid to come on at first. Get the Phantom on. You don't have to come on every week. I'd like to have everybody on when it's, special anniversary episodes, and talk shop and grow the channel. Get people to embrace what we talk about, like-minded individuals, laugh with us. Don't take anything serious. We're all about, like I said before, I think I could pop this channel really, really good, but I think it'd be a short trip, because I think we get kicked off with some of the stuff, because I can get
Well, we probably all lose our jobs because human resources would get involved in it.
Yeah.
From all the companies that we work for. Just saying.
Because there is I was going to use a certain term, but I'm not going to. It's a different generation than when we grew up, but deep down inside, still Gen X, still know how to suppress the feelings. And then when you let them out, tend to get a little misty. That could happen this week. You never know. So 10 years from now, I hope that we can all still show up on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, talk shop, sports, wrestling, pop culture, which we hardly ever get a chance to get into, talk movies, do some other stuff, and move it along.
Nice if we could get in the same room. I mean,
See, I would love to get to, big picture, I'd love to get to the point where we could travel and I could write it off. We could all, if we're in different locations, fly out, go to conventions together, do on the spot kind of thing. Before we got on the air tonight, me and Brad were talking about a convention that's coming to his area. And I said, get out and support it, because if they don't get a lot of people, it's usually a one and done. So if you have a chance to support these conventions, whether it's cards, comics, Comic-Cons, all those things, get out there and fly that 1973 flag. You never know what could happen, what kind of connections you could make. Just ask Tom, having a shirt on or a hat, people ask you about it, and then you can draw eyes to it. Even if it's for one episode, maybe it's something that they're into. Maybe they support us because they know us. There's a lot of people that do that, and then there's a lot of people that love to hate. I know who you are. I see the analytics. You cannot hide. I know who you are. So thank you I thought that was a great question. I think that there's a lot of people that want to start a podcast and they just don't do it because they can't be consistent with it, or they don't know how to start. It's a how-to kind of generation now. If you can't find it online, there's plenty out there to learn how to do it, and you're gonna get some bumps in the road too. But like I said, it's onward and upward from here, guys. So thank you for being part of the podcast. Hopefully 10 more years, 20 more years, 30 more years, who knows? So speaking of that, last week, Brad wasn't here. He was on a little trip to Dallas. This week, Chris isn't here, but he did do a review of a local collectibles and toy store in our area, Cojo's Toy World. Tom, do you want to shed any light on that before I roll the video?
yeah, he's Cojo. He's a local guy from Westport, Mass. He's a local indie wrestler, and he started his own business, and it's on 104 William Street in New Bedford, Mass.
Yep, and if you're watching this tomorrow, Sunday the 14th.
Yep.
Tommy Dreamer is going to be there from, I think,
2 to 3.
2 to 3. And then
Whoa.
later in the month, Danhausen's going to be there. That'll be his
Whoa.
third time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So get out, like I said, get out there, support it. That way, it's a stone's throw away from where we live. So it's great to get out. So I'm going to drop that video in, maybe here with Chris.
Hey, what's up, guys? Chris from the 1973 podcast. We're here in downtown New Bedford at Cojo's Toy World. We're here to show you a little sneak peek of the inside of the store. I hope you guys love it. All right, keep coming this way. Come on. So, this Sunday, they got a special event. Show right in here. July 14th, 2 p.m. Tommy Dreamer is coming to town. Guys, you have to support your local businesses. If you come in here, give this guy some money for an autograph or a picture, he's going to come back, all right? So that's why we want to support our local businesses around. Also, Danhausen was here a couple of weeks ago on June 30th, all right? So here's a look at the inside of the store, all right? It's the coolest toy store in New Bedford, period. Take a look at all the stuff. We got Alf. Who doesn't like Alf? These are all comics. Show the comics down below. Got comic books all up high. We keep it going all along the wall here. Careful with the dinosaurs. We don't want to knock anything over. Awesome Dracula pinball machine. How cool is that? Keep it coming. Then we enter in our Star Wars section here. Everybody loves Star Wars. Look at this. Classic vintage toys. Look at this WWE wrestling title. I used to use this and kick my friend's ass in the church parking lot right here with this exact title. It was awesome. Such good memories. Keep coming. Keep coming down. Show everything up and down. Nice and slow for the camera. Nice and slow. All right. All right. And here we come. Look at this. Autograph. Danhausen figurine. Amazing. He was just here. Just here. Take a look here. This is the GOAT of wrestling. Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course. Okay? Keep showing everything. Here's the classic Winged Eagle World Wrestling Federation title. That's when wrestling was in its prime. Best ever. Keep bringing it around. Show the case here. All this good old school stuff. You got some more wrestling memorabilia. Autograph stuff. Just great classical old school stuff. Take a pic. Look at that. Look at that sign. Isn't that cool? Alright, keep coming. They got some Nintendo games here. Nintendo 64. If you grew up in the 90s like I did, this is all you did was play Nintendo 64. Keep coming around here. They got the coolest posters, guys. I've seen Kiss posters here. They got Superman, Halloween. They got awesome stuff. Who doesn't like SpongeBob? I mean, really, Ghostbusters. It's never ending, guys. They got a ton of them all over the place. Keep handing here, show all this stuff. G.I. Joe, guys. This is the G.I. Joe section. I know if you guys are born in the 80s, you collected all this G.I. Joe stuff. This is all good stuff here. Show the X-Men right here. Cool X-Men stuff. Great store, guys. Keep coming down. Terminator, Kiss. Here we go. Here's a cool Kiss doll for you Kiss fans out there. I know there's plenty of you. We'll show this big skull that he's got here in display. Wicked cool. We'll bring it into a little Hot Wheels. We've got some cool Hot Wheels section going. Alright, and of course everybody likes all the scary shit over here. You got Chucky, you got the good stuff here, Jason mask. Awesome store. Alright, right over here. So guys, 1973 podcast brought this to you. The owner is Jason Aguiar and Teddy Goods, actually, who was a wrestler, and he wrestled on a WWE SmackDown match against Gunther. So pretty amazing. This is the store. I hope you like it. Please come by, support your local business. Give them your money. It's well deserved here, guys. Thanks a lot. Please continue watching.
You know, those old vintage toy shops like that, man, they have a lot of ties to wrestling. Like even Dallas Vintage Toys had Mark Henry in there. They had Danhausen in there. They had Matt Cardona in there. Like those are like the last meccas of pop culture and wrestling for us, man. So that's
Matt
awesome, dude.
Cardona is a huge collectible guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's even got his own line of action figures. I think they're the old school Bendums.
Man.
Yeah, check that out. Speaking of, before we get on to talking wrestling, I want to mention somebody I've been trying to get on this podcast. I absolutely love vintage classic wrestling figures. There's a company called Powertown Wrestling. Check out those figures. They are absolute. They're better than any other figure that's out there. If you're into vintage stuff, they're coming out with their second line. It's got Junkyard Dog in it, Dory Funk, Jack Briscoe, Medusa, Kamala, and I'm missing one. I'll think of it as we go along. But the belts are fantastic that they come with. The detail is fantastic. The head scans. Wahoo McDaniel is the other one. Absolute fire. Check them out. Trying to get them on the show. They said they're going to come on eventually, and then, I keep poking them, and we'll get them on eventually. I can't wait to talk to them. Cannot wait. So, Bradford, we missed you last week with some wrestling talk. Money in the Bank, the Samoan Werewolf. Told you about this guy before they signed him, Jacob Fatu. The guy is fantastic. Thoughts?
Me?
Oh, yeah.
Bro. Oh, you told me about Jacob Fatu. And then I went and YouTubed the guy and was following him on socials and seeing all these clips and highlights. I was like, this dude is a freaking madman. And then when he got in the ring at Money in the Bank. So first of all, this Money in the Bank was legitimately great television. It was incredible. I thought the men's match went over really well. I thought LA Knight and Andrade, if I could give like co-MVPs for the night, I thought that they carried that men's match well. I thought this is going to piss you off, man. But the women's ladder match, Money in the Bank match, was almost better than the men's. And Chelsea Green gets my MVP. Zoe Stark, I almost want to give her my RIP because she almost died twice. If you go back and watch it, there was a couple botches. Io Sky kind of had a rough night in there. I don't know what was going on with her. She's kind of in the middle of several different botches. But all in all, that Money in the Bank was phenomenal. Now, when Jacob Fatu took that DDT from Randy Orton and Randy was ready to RKO him, and he just stood up and was like, bro, his no sells, and then he did it again on SmackDown. He'll just take all this punishment from people and then get up, and he's just fired up. It just like powers him up, man. I think WWE was correct that he was going to steal the spotlight from Solo, and I think they're trying to keep him in the background, but he is such an athlete. Like, a man of that size should not be able to move as gingerly as he does. And bro, I mean, it's incredible, man. Like, bro, I can't wait to see where they go with this bloodline story. They have so many storylines going in WWE with Mommy coming back on Monday night. Can we talk about that? That was incredible. So you got that storyline. You got this Punk, Seth Rollins, McIntyre storyline that is absolutely cooking. The people are pissed about Drew McIntyre cashing in the Money in the Bank for all of 5 seconds. But what an incredible twist and storyline that is. They've got the Bloodline saga. Bro, Roman Reigns supposed to come back in SummerSlam. I can't fucking wait, man.
I'm gonna bring up two things. One, about the Jacob Fatu thing. The no sell, it fits his character right now. But it goes to show you that you don't have to put a dude through a table to get somebody over as being tough. You know what I mean? You don't have to hit him with 10,000 things. He just no-selled one of the more iconic setup moves for a finish in the last 15, 16 years, right? So it kind of establishes him as, like a killer almost. And the other thing is that you didn't mention was the Cena surprise.
Oh, how could I forget?
So if we could, that is a talking point for fantasy booking. As soon as he mentioned how it was going to go down, that WrestleMania would be his last match. There's so many ways you can book that. Like the long-term storytelling for the next 9 months up until WrestleMania. Does he win and beat Flair's title and retire with one of the belts and take it with him? So there's only one world title. Do they let him take, is this finally the way they get rid of a belt? They just let him retire with the belt, 17-time champion, greatest of all time. Does he beat Flair's record? I heard Flair's on the outs with AEW. He's done. So what happens? Does he go to WrestleMania and lose and go out like that? I don't see him going out losing. That guy never loses hardly.
Well, he already declared for the Royal Rumble in that speech too.
Yep.
So I thought that was interesting. But Cena, no, like he wants to go out on top, but for the last 2 or 3 years, he was that veteran that was putting dudes over. Like he was taking these L's to put people over. Like when you talk about somebody, first of all, don't get me started on all the Make-A-Wish stuff that he does, but he'll find the time to come back to wrestling, not just when he's trying to promote a show like the Rock or somebody's trying to push something they're doing on the side. He comes back when they needed him the most just to take a bunch of L's and put people over. Like, come on, man. Lucas kind of teared up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Lucas was upset, not me. Lucas.
So I didn't cry. You cried.
Yeah.
So I actually yesterday before SmackDown came on, about 8:02, I send the Mouth of the South the text and said, "Turn on Fox right now. You have that." And whether he did or he didn't, he just gave me the okay. So I'm trying to lead him towards it. Professor, any thoughts on up to date with all things WWE before
my fantasy booking is Cena, Randy Orton turns on Cody. Orton and Cena behind the scenes are best friends. That's going to be the match at WrestleMania for his last match. Cena wins and retires. Orton loses and retires because his back's all messed up. And then WWE, for their first show, big show afterwards on Netflix, they have a tournament for the belt.
Well, I forgot to mention the Roman Reigns return. We haven't even talked about that. They have so many things that they can throw at.
That's another thing. They have a pay-per-view coming up that they're bringing back called Bad Blood. And the rumor is that they may be bringing War Games back for that. And I can see Reigns with maybe the Usos and the new bloodline and having a feud. And I don't know if they'll make it. I mean, how they make 5-on-5, because I believe it's usually 5-on-5 of who they throw in there. If they'd make if Sami Zayn would come back as an honorary Usi for that match, or even if they want to go really deep and go, I don't know if you could, but have Paul Heyman guys, have Brock Lesnar and maybe CM Punk join the team. But I think that's what the War Games is going to end up being, it's going to be just the way they bringing back Bad Blood. I just think it's just going to tie into the bloodline.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless for the booking that they could do. And if Paul Heyman's involved in it, it's going to be good. The thing with Cody Rhodes, and I thought about this when I was watching SmackDown, and I'm watching him saying, I remember how I felt when Bob Backlund had the belt all that time. I just hope that Cody's run doesn't turn into Bob Backlund-esque, not Bob Backlund from the 90s. We're talking about, the 6-year Bob Backlund run that it was like got to the point where even though you still like the good guys, you wanted to see somebody beat him. So I don't know. He's my guy. I mean, I love Cody Rhodes. I love the family. I love the story. I love the whole deal. But could you see it turn into a Bob Backlund thing, Tom?
I hope not, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. where it gets stale and it gets like
Yeah.
too much. Like how Cena was when he, you know, it just force fed. When it's force fed, it's like it's junk. Like when they tried to do the Roman Reigns force feed back when he left the Shield and everybody was booing him, and then he turns heel, and the rest is, you know, kind of epic.
I think Homelander Cody's on the horizon. I don't think it's a if, I think it's a matter of when. I don't know if it's going to be like SummerSlam or it's going to be a result of a bloodline beatdown, or WrestleMania is going to be a turn. I think Randy Orton's going to turn on him. I think it's going to be like he's going to be fed up with the bloodline drama, and he's going to be like, man, I gave everything to this company. I left. I came back. F you guys. The Boys TV show is heavily involved with sponsorship. Cody already dresses like an Homelander.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense, man, to take a Homelander turn and just start doing evil Cody stuff. And then only one person can come in and stop Cody.
I know who it is.
Well, you better believe, because if you say his name, he will appear.
Dustin Rhodes.
Joe Hendry. That dude is
I'd rather see it be Dustin Rhodes, to tell you the
bro.
truth.
That guy is a phenom. He is a star. And I cannot stop watching his music videos on YouTube. He has more than one. He has a lot. Like, you go down a rabbit hole. It's incredible. And for him to show up on NXT with Trick Williams, bro. Look, I've been thinking about this all week. AEW's biggest competition isn't Raw or SmackDown. It's NXT. Because NXT has been cooking, and they've been taking their mid-carders and then putting them on NXT and giving them belts. Like, they're cooking on NXT too, man. And Joe Hendry, I read, is on the roster now. Like, he's officially, I don't know what aspect, I think Tom said it before. They're like going to take or was it, might have been the Phantom said they're going to take these guys from TNA, kind of how the WWE absorbed ECW. So, because a lot of NXT TNA stars joined NXT this past Tuesday.
How about Ethan? Oh, how about Ethan Page winning the belt?
Yep.
That's I think that's just a nice sign that McMahon's gone. Because you're not squashing other talent that just came in. Ethan Page was already probably very polished enough to be better than some of the NXT characters, and to have them win in Toronto.
For sure.
Yeah.
NXT needs help with people cutting promos. That's our biggest weakness. And to bring in guys like Ethan Page who don't have issues cutting promos, they only make those other guys better. And I think it's only a matter of times where Trick Williams gets shotgunned up the ladder to the main roster anyway, because that dude is so over. And to see him on a main roster, just imagine a Raw or SmackDown and you hear his music, the pop would be absolutely insane. I think people would lose their freaking minds, man. So much good stuff, man. So much good stuff.
The other thing too, with NXT is they have to be careful, because they are, they're developmental, and sometimes when they want to give these women's North American title, I heard they want to give a women's Intercontinental title, they want to give a woman's, it's too much. They don't have that deep of a talent roster to support somebody that's gonna carry somebody for a title. It's just too much. That's why I'd love to see them kind of thin the herd a little bit. They don't need all that talent to be that good. I mean, if everybody on the card was mid to upper card in main event, it'd be fantastic. And who are they going to trim the fat at the bottom with that's not somebody that they can lose? They can lose so many of those people because they're not ready for prime time. They're not. It's just, if it's not working out, it's not working out. They've been trying with Nia Jax, Zoe Stark, kind of sketchy. Yeah, I mean, who is it? Tongaloa can't even hit somebody with a nut shot.
Can't even get the low blow right.
You can't get a low blow right. That's
Tongaloa. That's his second strike for me. He's gotten 2 in PLEs.
Yep.
A third one, you're done, buddy.
Just
Same
keep
with
'em-
Damian Priest.
Yeah. Just keep them with the suit on until you find out who's going to be the manager. Just let him be the outside lackey or whatever. The guy that
Yeah.
gets the stink face or whatever you want to give him. Bronco Buster, whatever it is. Speaking of that, go ahead,
Triple
Brad.
H did let AJ Styles go overseas, and he won his big match in Japan. I think that's cool. And I think Io Sky has she's going to go back to Japan and wrestle too, and he's letting the talent. Hey, we got a loaded roster. He recognizes that we don't have enough screen time to put everybody in the show, and the PLEs he's trimmed down to only like 5 matches per PLE.
I like that.
Whereas you don't like that?
I do like that.
Yeah, it's because I'm not going to sit there for 6 hours.
No, like AEW.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Starts at 6 p.m. and it's not done till 1:30. And it was
Yeah,
probably
I don't have enough time in my life to sit and watch a 6-hour pay-per-view, man. So I love that they trimmed it down. So that means like you either got to show up and sell your, pitch a good, idea and get in there, or like you just got to take advantage of your opportunities. And so if there's not enough opportunities, not enough meat on the bone to go around, if people want to go do another promotion, they want to go show up in TNA, he lets them. They want to go to Japan, he lets them. So, I'm all for that, man. I think AJ Styles is 47 years old. He's kind of past being, I don't want to say he's irrelevant, but he's past that point in his career. He's not going to go on a championship title run anytime soon. So let him go do that stuff, man. Good for AJ Styles.
It serves a lot of purposes though, because it brings eyes back to WWE as far as like, AJ Styles could always be almost like a mole looking for talent while he's there, kind of like scouting talent, to bring back to Triple H with, like a yin and a yang kind of thing. And plus, what's not to say that when he's at one of these live events for another promotion, that they're not selling WWE AJ Styles swag, dumping money back to the company. So he probably brought a ton of merch with him, put it at the stand, and he's probably like, giving them a kickback or whatever they're sending with them. So I think it's great. It's all things that would never happen if Vince was still there. And
oh yeah.
Tom, you want to add something?
I don't know if you guys saw the thing. Triple H said there are going to be a lot of changes coming up in the next few months before they switch over. And one of them, they just hired an ESPN announcer for play-by-play. Did college football. He did a few Monday night games when they have Monday Night Football. Joe Tessitore, I think his name is.
Oh, really?
So he's supposed to be starting actually anytime, really.
Is it Jackie Redmond?
Yeah, but they also stuck it to AEW. AEW had the girl there, was her name Stephanie Vacur. They just signed her away from AEW. She fought one match and WWE signed her right away, and she's supposed to be coming over. She's pissed a lot of people off over there because she didn't do business the right way, and she didn't lose the belt. She just left the belt, and she's already heading over to WWE.
Wow.
But these international stars, though, Andy, like Shinsuke Nakamura, Io Sky, all these, when English is their second language, man, it's hard to sell them. And I've heard that she's going to be another one of those. She doesn't speak a whole lot of English.
Yeah, she's from Chile.
She's from Chile. And I think it's going to be a hard sell. And the women's division in WWE is already so freaking loaded. They literally don't have room for another megastar.
But not in a good way. It's not loaded in a good way, though.
It's top heavy. I think it's top heavy.
Yeah.
It's like they have mommy, Nia Jax inserts herself into everything. Tiffy Stratton, she's the next big star. She's had some issues with wardrobe malfunctions also, I want to point out. I think they're top heavy in the women's division, and they have their big, and Becky Lynch is still due to come back, and then Bailey, of course, and then there's a sharp drop off of talent, and NXT has 1 or 2 big stars. I think Sol Ruka is going to be a huge star. I think she's going to get caught up. She's super athletic. She's like a hippie version of Tiffy Stratton. They're going to get they're really top heavy, and then there's no mid card. This is like it bottoms out. I don't know why they're trying to make so many new belts. Just I don't know. Give them their own
Speaking of
show.
well, I want to bring this up because I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw this. The ending to the Owen Hart Women's Division finals with
Wacky.
Tony Storm doing the actual blade job. I went back and watched it. She went in, gave it the old zip, bleeding all over the place. Looked like kind of like a 60s horror movie, the way she they went to black and white, and
pretty accurate.
Yeah, it looked good on TV. It looked fantastic. And I don't know what they're doing with her protege that won. The name escapes me.
Mariah May.
Mariah May. It's great because she plays I wasn't expecting that. So credit to them. Tony Storm's great. I don't know why WWE let her go. She's fantastic. That character is great. She almost does the old Hollywood type thing. Great Joan Crawford type Betty Davis thing. Great. I like Tony Storm, and Dr. Britt can't really wrestle, but she's really easy on the ice. I gotta say, she came back and she looked phenomenal. She was talking about how she had a mini stroke. I know Tom. We discussed that during the week. She had said she had a little bit of paralysis in one of her hands. Ed, big fan of Dr. Britt. Thumbs up.
I sure am.
Oh yeah. DMD. DMD.
I sure am.
Yep. You haven't seen her since she's been back. She came back. She had a half cut shirt. The abs were fantastic. She is a knockout. I don't know what she's doing with Adam Cole because she's already bigger than him. Thoughts on that angle before we move on, Bradford?
We've had this talk before, man, and I like that. I like watching a match when somebody gets cut or busted open, and it's like, oh, it like feeds into the story, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming, and it makes it even more exciting and more interesting. But you got to use it sparingly, and I feel like AEW is almost turned it into a gimmick because they use that tactic so much that when I first started watching, it was just on a weekday, and I was like, oh, there's blood everywhere. It's literally all over the mat. It's all over the ring. What are they gonna do? Then the next match, it was the same thing. And the next match, it was the same thing. So I don't know if they've dialed it back, but I thought the bit was good. I don't think it was necessarily like overdone. I just think with how I look at AEW right now, it's just kind of like they pulled an old trick out, But I love that Tony Storm, like she's been getting a lot of love from AEW lately. She's been pulling some really neat promos. She's really, captured the camera's attention. So good for her, man. Good for her.
Yeah, it's very rare that you can see how talented somebody is when they actually. She didn't leave. She got fired. She was in one of those swoops that they push people out after WrestleMania. And when you can go and reinvent yourself and bring a character like, how Cody left and reinvented himself, and what Sasha Banks isn't doing. She's just being another form of herself. When you have that kind of versatility to reinvent yourself and become even bigger with what you're bringing to the table for whatever merchandise you're trying to sell, or if you're good enough to lose matches and still get over, where you lose and it doesn't really affect your likability or, how many t-shirts somebody wants to buy, or, whether they want to change the channel when you're on or whatever, unfortunately, Chris Jericho has that effect on people. When he's on, people want to change the channel compared to, we'll say 20 years ago.
Don't even get into that whole thing, that whole match the other night with him and Samoa Joe. That was horrible.
Terrible. And Samoa Joe's another one. Can you imagine if Samoa Joe, there was some way that they could work him into bringing him back in the Bloodline storyline somehow, either on the side of the faces, the good guys, where they bring in Samoa Joe as a mystery partner, and his thing could be, I was always part of the bloodline, but you guys never recognized me or something like
Mm.
that. I'm more Samoan than most of you guys. It's right in my name, something like that.
Literally.
Yeah, right. So
He's a movie star now.
I know he's great though. All of his stuff looks. He's great on the mic. He wrestles rough. Like the punches look legit when he throws punches. He's a big dude. He moves well. It's just he's getting older too. And that window, unfortunately, they dropped the ball with him.
It's crazy that he stars in a Peacock television series, Twisted Metal, and Peacock carries WWE.
You never know.
There's got to be a little bit of a conflict there.
I think he's in the good graces of Triple H, and then you never know. They probably guys probably stay in contact all the time. When can I come back? Things like that. And I like the surprises, so I don't even want to know if it's a work. Like the Cena thing, they kept it under wraps to everybody, so it's good. I like that stuff. That's the way wrestling should be. Just give you a surprise. That way, you get your money's worth rather than knowing ahead of time. Like they're already saying that Roman Reigns is coming back at SummerSlam, so it kind of ruins the whatever effect with the storyline that they have. Thomas, you want to add anything before we move on?
I'm wrestled out right now, man.
It's happened.
It's happened.
Impossible. It's impossible to be wrestled out.
So let's shift gears and talk some shitty picks, and then we'll get into whatever sports related stuff we got on the docket.
All righty. Tom Shitty Picks is brought to you by Brock Street Brewing Company, located at 244 Brock Street South in Whitby, Ontario. Everything they brew is in-house, including their beers, seltzers, vodka sodas, and their hard iced teas. So if you're in the Whitby area, go check them out and tell them the podcast sent you. All right, this week it's kind of inconclusive because my guy I picked, he has 2 starts. My starting pitcher, Logan Gilbert, he's pitching tomorrow night, but he's off to a really good start. He pitched a few days ago. He's 1-0 for the week. He pitched 7 innings, had 7 Ks, 1 walk. He only gave up 3 runs. In the ESPN format that I use, he's got 16 points. So he's well on the way, hopefully, to get me the 30-plus points that I said he would get for the week. This coming week is kind of a slow week, so I'm actually going to go off the board and go with something that I can't stand watching anymore. I'm going to pick the home run derby winner. It's in Brad's neck of the woods, fairly close to. It's in Texas, but my heart would say that I would like to see. I'm going to mess up his first name, Adolis Garcia, win it because he's at home, but I think this is going to be the Gunnar Henderson show. It's going to be his coming out party. He's a lefty batting in that park. And I'm picking Gunnar Henderson versus Adolis Garcia in the finals, and I'm going to go with Gunnar winning it.
Is Albert Bell in it, Tom?
Yeah. He's in the senior circuit one.
Okay.
Just softball.
I just wanted to check just and see if I might be interested in watching it. No Barry Bonds. No Sammy Sosa, no Maguire, no Canseco, right? None of these guys competing this year. Okay.
Right.
Well,
although Bobby Bonilla just got paid. It was Bobby Bonilla Day last week, and he got paid. He's still got like another 10 years where they're paying him.
It's that's amazing. That still blows my. That's the start of when the bad contract started, right there. That's probably around whatever year that was, 90 or whatever it was. It's terrible.
If you're looking for a roided out slugger, Adolis Garcia is not that far away from being busted for steroids and PEDs.
Come on, man.
Through the course, I'm a huge Garcia fan, but through the course of his baseball career, he went from normal sized forehead to a light bulb shaped head.
Come on, man. Brad, you've watched the movie Icarus, haven't you?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Watch it. If
I'll
you
watch
watch Icarus, watch Icarus. It'll enlighten you on how things really are when it comes to sports. Like,
hey,
look,
there's a running joke. A lot of folks want Adolis Garcia. Well, Houston fans want Adolis Garcia investigated.
yeah, well, look, everybody.
Homie's in a slump right now, though. So,
well, come on.
He's waiting for his package to come in the mail.
Yeah, he's slumping big time. He needs to start hitting the ball.
It's cream and clear, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
know
That's
what
what
that
they
is.
can
that's what it
think
used to be, right? That's what they used to say it was, right? McGuire and those guys, Cream and Claire or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
You rub it
Yeah.
on, it's like
Yeah.
Bengay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas,
No, but
sports.
like seriously, honestly, if you guys want to watch anything about that's seriously about like sports and what they do, watch the movie Icarus. Watch it.
Gotcha.
And you will learn about how things really were. It actually goes over the Olympics and what the KGB did to make sure that the Russian athletes did not pop.
Damn.
So yeah, I mean, come on, man. We're talking $1 billion companies that are involved. Come on, bro. Come on, we all know that. Come on now.
Speaking of the Olympics, it's almost that time for the Olympic Games, right? It's in
Yep.
That's
Can't
what it
wait
is.
to not watch them.
And Paris.
Yeah, I'm not a summer games guy. I'm a winter Olympics guy.
I couldn't imagine a more boring sport to watch than the Olympics, summer or winter. It's just not fun.
They have baseball in the Summer Olympics. I know you. Yeah.
It's still not fun. I still don't watch it.
Thomas, thoughts on all things sports?
Well, I wanted to bring this up last week and I forgot, but the NHL broke that barrier last week or 2 weeks ago, and Seattle Kraken signed the first female assistant coach. So it's gonna happen. It's not gonna be too long. You're gonna see a female head coach. It's almost I think it's gonna happen in the NBA before you're gonna see it in the NHL. But Jessica Campbell got hired, and she's been an assistant coach down in the AHL for a few years, and I think it wouldn't surprise me if she ends up as a head coach there in a couple of years.
Very good looking.
She was a player too.
I think the Edmonton Oilers should hire that girl from the stands for the assistant, one of the assistant coaches. Yep.
Was that Kim? Andy Kim?
She blew up.
Tom,
Yo,
do you have anything else to add on the sports realm?
actually, the only other really thing, it's kind of gaining traction here in Boston, but Alex Cora, he's playing out his contract with the Red Sox as manager, and the rumor is that the Yankees are going to go and try to sign him this offseason and become their head coach, because Aaron Boone, I don't know if he has pictures of somebody or what, but I mean, the last few years they've definitely underachieved, and they're saying this could be the year where he gets fired, and Cora is probably the best coach out that's available. I mean, he's been phenomenal with the Red Sox this year. I mean, they even have them sniffing anywhere near the playoffs with the team they have. It's impressive.
And you don't want to mention Mishkov at all? The Mishkov signing? Yeah, no. Okay. We'll move on. And we'll save that for maybe around October. We'll sit on that one for a little while. But remember, I said it. I think he's wearing 39, but we'll just leave that one alone. All right. So now is time. We've been sitting on this one. Came on. We hot stove this before we went on the air. It's the tinfoil hat time. And as we are recording, something major happened. And we're going to talk about it right after Tom does the lead in. Take it away, Thomas.
All righty. Brad's Tinfoil Hat Conspiracy of the Week is brought to you by the 1973 Podcast Store. Check us out. We're going to have the QR code. It's going to pop up here anytime now when by the time you guys watch this, AC will have it up. Just scan the code and go to the store, buy some shirts.
Shit. Look at Phantom shirt. I mean, what more can you ask for? Brad, the floor is yours. You have my full attention, unlike Ed. Go ahead.
I don't even know where to begin. Like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to say. This is like, we're living in a banana republic. So Trump, they took some shots at him, right? And we talked about it on this show, and I heard it from Andrew Schultz, the comedian, that if they were going to go after Trump, it would be in a Boeing aircraft, and they could just be like, oh, Air Force One was a Boeing airplane and the plane went down, and it would all make sense, right? They would connect the dots that way. They actually took shots at him. Now, I don't know. I'm not saying these were like some fanatic, wacko, liberal, Democrat crazies because they typically don't use guns. It's usually, my people with the guns. The rednecks, the conservatives. Liberals are so anti-gun. I can't imagine somebody being so anti-gun that they picked up a gun to shoot a president. Like that's a huge leap in itself, right? Naturally, the gunman has been the alleged gunman was shot and killed. So we'll never get to ask the questions like the standard, governmental conspiracy cover up. The shooter always gets axed, either death by cops or they themselves, so we never get to know. And then I'm sure in the days that follow, we're going to see Facebook posts and a manifesto will be released to the public through the media somehow or whatever,
Brad,
right?
you say that there's a script that they go by. Is that what you're trying to say?
It is the most common script. Like they're not even like changing the play. Like they're just doing the same shit over and over and over again.
They're like the Andy Reid or the Bill Belichick of how the world works. Come on.
Now, I will say what Tom said in the group chat earlier, that it could have been manufactured by Trump and his people to gain favor. Now, I saw on like Instagram or a podcast, I don't know who said it, but they were like, our presidential election is most similar to the WWE. Like they slow roll and build these storylines, and it's manufactured entertainment that appears very real, and we love it, and we just eat this shit up. And they build it for 4 years, every election, right? Until by the time election season comes here, we're so one way or another, and we're all fighting with each other, Republican versus Democrat, Trump versus Biden, Trump versus Hillary, and so on. That we all just keep feeding into. So they give us the illusion of choice. We know that. Like it's not a real democratic process, right? It's the illusion of choice. We have the lesser. We have to pick the lesser of two evils, and the irony in it is that the Democrats and Biden. I'm not ultra political. I'm just going off what I see in the news and on social media. And they're saying, well, Trump's going to go after his political opponents. Trump's going to be the end of democracy. Well, what the fuck has Biden and them been doing? Completely weaponized our judicial system to go after an ex-president, and then he gets granted presidential immunity, and everybody loses their shit thinking he's going to use that to go after people. What presidential immunity means that if we go to war or he sends people into a country looking for weapons of mass destruction, and then we don't find weapons of mass destruction and we upend an entire freaking country over that we can't come back and sue the president or take him to criminal court because of that. That's all they're saying. That's presidential immunity. It doesn't mean he's going to, get out of office and go after Biden and look into his tax documents on a golf course resort, or go arrest him for having classified documents in his bathroom, or what else did they go after Trump for?
The fact that he bought Mar-a-Lago from the federal government, just saying.
Yeah, Trump. Look, they've been going after Trump since I was slinging shoes with Ed at Run and Try. Like these court cases were just one after another. And every time I thought he got clear from one, it's like, oh, Trump's arrested again. Trump's in court again. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And me and Ed used to talk. Like, I was like, man, eventually they're gonna take a shot. They're gonna go after him, and it fucking happened, dude. We're like, it's like we're living in a Harrison Ford spy thriller from the 90s.
Patriot Games, baby. I mean, I want to read this right here. I thought that this was a very good point that that was put out, and so just so you know, I was paying attention. I was pulling something up on my phone here so I could actually add something to the podcast. Just so you know.
This is technically part of the tinfoil hat still. We're still in tinfoil hat.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., just not to be confused by the other people in his family that the plane that went down off of Martha's Vineyard, or the magic bullet theory, in Dallas, or the Sirhan in the hotel kitchen there. Just saying. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, "Now is the time for every American who loves our country to step back from the division, renounce all violence, and unite in prayer for President Trump and his family." Well, that's kind of funny coming from somebody that has the type of tragedy that person has in that type of family. Considering we all know what happened to that family, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And and not gonna, it does kind of funny, especially with one of them. How one of them, like off of Martha's Vineyard, just happened to be, about a seat in the Senate for New York, and certain particular person who won that seat, just saying, has a particular connection to the State Department, certain particular person that had the original Hawk Tui in the Oval Office, just saying. Funny how that works.
You know what's
Bottom line,
really funny? You know what's really funny? Robert
that?
Kennedy Jr. is the only presidential candidate in the history since they started doing it to be denied Secret Service protection from the active president. They're supposed to get, if they request it, they're supposed to get Secret Service. And Robert Kennedy has been attacked twice. He's had people show up at his house and show up and come at his family on 2 different occasions. And both times he used that as like, hey, I've been attacked. Like the crazies are showing up and coming after me. Can I get Secret Service? And President Biden, all he has to do is say yes. And he keeps denying the request.
Maybe he thinks that he's asking that the father is asking for security.
Vice President Trump. Did y'all see that clip?
Yeah.
But I mean, my question here is this: is that let's strip away everything here. First and foremost, number one, there was an attempt on a man's life that actually was a public servant that did not take a salary. That's a fact. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we all know that both sides of the bird, there's 2 wings to the same bird. I mean, they all get together and everything like that. Okay, so the thing about it is that, and like the 3 of us, like we talked about before, we all hopped on. Look, we all could definitely use some $2 gas and some mean tweets. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a fact. I mean, because the thing about it is that there's a certain particular person that's in the Oval Office, in the people that are in the House of Representatives and the Senate right now, because they've taken civics, out of the curriculum. So, we actually know how government actually works, because it's really easy to blame one person. But you see, the thing about it is that the Congress are the people that actually make the laws, you see. So there's that part. And so here's the thing about it is that, just saying, it's really easy to sit here because, you don't agree how the man talks because he mean talks. Well, I mean, there's 2 people that are on my right-hand side on the screen here that, if you remember correctly, we actually grew up with people that actually talked kind of mean to us. Because funny story, because those particular people actually went through World War II in Korea. Just say it, and they weren't so nice to us when they got the point across. And coming from my perspective, stepping back into the corporate boardroom and stuff like that, it's not so nice in there. We don't talk politically correct. Just saying, we get the point across and we make it happen.
I think the people in that crowd, man, like if you go back and watch the replay, like when Trump gets shot, like the shots are ringing out, he goes down grabbing his ear. Almost nobody in the crowd even like takes cover. There's a woman in the background in white, and she's got her phone up, and shots are ringing out. And as Trump starts to go down with the Secret Service, then she finally trying to record it. And I'm like, and then the crowd is chanting USA, USA. And I'm like, Jess, if we're there, and long shot, I'm gonna go watch a presidential debate or speech. That sounds like the most boring shit in the world, and it's hot outside. But if I hear 4 or 5 shots, if I hear shots ringing out, I'm like, Jess, we're not gonna sit there and live stream it. We're getting the hell out.
That's the first thing I said. I said I'd be running.
Nobody moved.
But Brad,
wait, hold on a minute.
Most people, other than the 4 people on this panel, Brad, you're the one that can speak on it the most. Most people don't actually know what a round sounds like when it exits the chamber of a weapon.
Bro, if I see the president
do.
go down like he got shot, bro, I'm booking.
Now,
It's gonna be Las Vegas all over again.
I want to ask you, is the lady that's recording, was the phone case bulletproof?
It was an OtterBox. I don't know.
Okay.
Zapruder film.
Yeah. Don't know.
But she's got the best footage in the world right now because she never put her phone down. She needs to be sending that into every media outlet. She's got first person point of view.
Maybe
So
she'll
she'll
go
be able to
missing.
tell us if Trump went down and gigged himself. I think he went down. I was like, oh, fuck.
Well,
It came up.
He had a hat on. So, I mean, the hat, did it have a, some kind of gusher
Yep.
underneath? Did it?
That's what it
like
was.
One of those beer can helmet kind of things with the straws?
That's what it was.
Went down and kind of give the old zip on the side, catch a packet.
Yep. Hey, but he came up and he was fist pumping. I looked like he said the F word. I don't know if he said fuck or fight, but he said it twice. And that picture of him fist bumping and bloody, I'm like, that he just won the dang election, dude.
There's two different things with that, reading lips. If he said, let's fight, then he's trying to motivate. But if he said let's fuck, that's kind of some like you're gonna have to go back and look at it. So it's two different things.
Trump gets shot at, gets tackled by the Secret Service, and stands up fully torqued, ready to go.
Yeah.
Let's get them, boys.
Ed,
I was gonna say maybe it was Hunter Biden that shot at him, but he's a felon, so technically he's not allowed to own guns. So couldn't have been Hunter.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Come on now.
Allegedly. Professor, would you like to add anything to this tinfoil hat segment?
Yeah, what do you have to say?
In the whole basis of the tinfoil hat, I'm saying this is all booking. Vince McMahon, this is all, that just happens to be the perfect iconic shot afterwards. And it's Trump standing there. He's got his fist up, blood running down his face. And it just happened to be an American flag just above his shoulder where you can see perfectly. I'm like, can't tell me this isn't a setup just to, I mean, he didn't even need it because more than likely he's going to win the election. And I don't like either one of the guys. I'll be honest with you. So I don't care who wins. The country's fucked either way. But I mean,
Thank you, Tom, for the vote of confidence in this world.
No, everybody's so divided. And I don't know what's going to bring us together, but it's certainly not going to be these two guys because
another 9/11.
Brad, everybody what's going to bring everybody together. Come on, Brad. We talked about this so many times at the shop.
I just think that for the whole thing is it just comes down to, Ed had touched on it. You can't control things out of your realm, but what does directly affect you is the inflation. If the gas needs to come down, everything needs to come back down. I mean, even the housing prices are crazy. Everything's way over the top. I think it's been one of the most biggest inflation eras in the entire run of the United States. So as far as not getting political with divisions and stuff like that, just what directly affects you when you're home, your bills that have your name on it that only you can pay, not anybody else. I think that's what's most important to come out of this, however it goes. I just like to see everything be a little cheaper. And I think I'm on there's a majority of people I think that agree with me. And I just can't understand from a conspiracy theory standpoint why from day one they divide the country. It's not a black-white thing. It's the Democrat-Republican thing right from the rip. Why, if you're not an evil nation, why wouldn't you want everybody together? That's what I don't understand. Why do you want to divide?
Can't make money that way, brother.
And believe me, I get it. But I'm saying brass tacks, if you don't understand it at the ground level, why would you want people arguing about stuff that they can't control other than one vote every 4 years? That one vote.
Andy, the reason why they have you do that is because it takes your eyes off of what's really going on.
Ed, I know, brother. I know. I get the whole.
I mean, the thing about this is that, think about this. There's three of us. Sorry, Brad. I mean, you come from the Commonwealth of Virginia. So the three of us, I mean, we come from an area where we started a war over 2% tax. 2% tax. And I'm not being all political. I'm not trying to go against the government, because I assure you, people in my family have shed a lot of blood for this country. People in my family have been in this country since 1617. Okay. So, like, I don't mean it like that. And most of the people in my family have served in this country. And I still have people that still work in federal law, still in the federal government as we speak. So that's not what I'm going for. I'm trying to say is that, look, the system is failing us. And there's something that needs to be better. Like, because our fellow citizens, they like are suffering. And like the thing about it is like, and it goes back to Brad, like what you talked about, and you talked about, Tom, you talked about, Chris talked about, support your local community, make your local community better. Right. And here's the thing, here's a little economics. You know, since I am the sales and marketing director on this podcast, just for an FYI, I'll just toss it out here like this, right? You spend $100 in your local community, right? You buy from a local business, 77 out of that $100 goes right back into your local community. You buy from a regional chain, 55 out of that $100 goes back into your local community. You buy from a retail store like Sam's or Walmart and stuff like that, 33 out of that $100. You buy online, 0 goes back into your local community. And that's part of the problem. Make your local community better.
How about your local podcast?
Yeah, buy a shirt. These shirts are sick, dude. It's comfort colors, for crying out loud. Can't beat it.
Right. Look at Tom's hat. That's some quality material.
Embrace the stuff, people.
Comfort colors. It was like 25. Oh, you can't beat it. It was like $25.
And
$30 for shipping or something. I don't even remember. It was so cheap.
Made in the USA.
Yep. I'm gonna buy more. I'm gonna buy one in every color.
There you go. There's plenty to pick from. Can't have the same shirt twice, Brad. You got to buy one of each.
One of each.
So, do you want to wrap up the tinfoil hat and kind of put a pin in that till next week? Because we got more.
Yeah, there's more next week. Also, what happened to the aliens in the Miami Mall? It's been like a year.
Did you see the video? Did you see the video I sent?
Damn it.
Did you see the video?
I want answers.
Did you see it? I sent you the video.
Yeah, I want answers.
That's crazy. If that's legit,
I want answers.
Maybe that's who took the shot at Trump.
Oh, shapeshifters.
That's what it was.
Independence Day 3. That I've got the movie script right here. Come on.
I hope this shooting thing is not Vince Russo booking. I hope it's at least Jim Cornette booking. So,
come on, bro.
At least it makes sense. You know what I mean, bro?
What are you talking about, bro?
It's gonna be some blue-haired liberal. They're gonna refer to it as the AR-15 as a machine gun. We're gonna be like, we know you weren't the one. You've already misspoke.
Yeah. Step aside. Step aside.
Get out of here.
All right. So
Brad, actually, that'd be a great new part of the podcast: how to field strap a weapon.
No, I'm not doing it.
Tom, we got a new episode of Cooking with Chris. We're gonna add. So Thomas, let's do the lead in, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
All righty. Cooking with Chris is brought to you by the book Loving Elliot, a fitting tribute to undying love, written by our fearless leader, Andrew Clark. It's available on Amazon.com. Elliot was the oldest special needs Jack Russell Terrier when he passed away at the age of 21.
What's up, 1973 podcast audience? Welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Chris. Today, we are going to do buffalo chicken empanadas, and here's the recipe ingredients. All right, we're going to get yourself a whole cooked chicken, a rotisserie chicken. Get it from your Costco, Stop and Shop, Market Basket. It's cheap, and you don't got to do any of the work, and it's already seasoned. I'm going to take 1 block of cream cheese, a cup of Red Hot Wings hot sauce, a half a cup of ranch dressing, 4 stalks of celery chopped. We're just going to go wild with the blue cheese. Add whatever you want. Some people like less, some people like more. Don't add it at all. A half a cup of shredded cheese, and of course, we got our Goya empanada dough discs. We're going to wrap these things up with that filling, and then we're going to throw it in the fryer. I'll show you the product. All right, we're back here with the mixture. This is what it should look like after it's done. We got our empanada station ready. You're going to need a fork to crimp the ends. I'm going to put a little bit like that right in the middle. Fold this bad boy over, and then we're going to crimp it down with the fork. I'll show it to you when it's done. All right, after we got those empanada doughs all rolled up and crimped, this is what they'll look like. Okay, be careful with them. You can save them, fry them later. We're gonna throw them on the fryer right now, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, now we're outside frying those empanadas up. We're not gonna fry them in the house because fry oil stinks. So you're gonna fill a pan up with vegetable oil and throw these suckers right in there. Wait until they get a nice golden brown, flip them once. That's what they'll look like when they come out. Sprinkle a little salt on them, and you're good to go. I'll give them a cut in a second, give them a try, and let you guys know how it is. So there we go, guys, finished product. I'm gonna take one of these, cut this bad boy in half. Look at that filling, delicious. I'm gonna give this a try. Again, don't forget, guys, any questions, please message me on the YouTube page. So good. Hope you enjoy.
I'm going to drop that video in. I'm going to give Brad a virtual hug for buying a book. Somebody else bought a book. I bet you it's Chris. That'll be the two people that bought books this week. I can't track that through Amazon, but there is two versions of the book. There's the blue cover, and Brad's got the original one. The blue cover is more of it's added stories and more pictures in the book. So if you're looking for the deluxe edition, you buy the blue one. If you want the original, buy the one that Brad has with the brown cover. So let's do some shout outs and we can wrap this up. And I don't know how to start these shout outs this week because it's been a really, really tough week for the podcast family. I'll kind of start it, and I'll mention our buddy Keith. His dad passed away, and we're thinking of him. Ronnie Hammond, I think 82 years young. Thomas, you want to add to it?
Keith, friend of the podcast, man. We're with you, bro. Unfortunately, you've joined a club that a couple of us are in already, and it doesn't get any easier, but we're here for you.
Ed, you want to add to that?
Yeah, hey man, Keith. Sorry to hear about your dad. Always tough when you lose, a parent. Nobody ever wants to go through that, and it sucks, and nobody loves it. It's it's terrible.
We want to get you back on, and hopefully, when we have him on the podcast before we go online, we can share our thoughts with him before we get rolling when he comes back on. And if he watches it this week, I want you to know that once you're on the podcast, you're part of the family, whether it's one episode, whether it's a bunch of episodes, we're with you on that one. Brad, quick shout out from your end.
Real quick, when we were at Dallas Vintage Toys, the boys were going that, so they had all the wrestlers hanging on the wall already in the store packaging. Those were like the rares, the exclusives, the collectible ones. Then they had a bunch of loose ones that they repackaged and were selling at a discount. Then they had the display case of Lucy's they, the boys were looking at, and they were very helpful. They were pulling them out, and Lucas was going through them. Tristan was going through them. Then Dana offered to go get her stash from the back, and she brought out 2 big tubs of just a variety of different styles of wrestling figs. We didn't really find that much in that stash that we liked. I, however, found one. I found a gem they didn't even know they had. They let me buy it. It was like $5 for it. You guys are gonna love it. Vintage Canadian Wolverine himself, Chris Benoit.
Wow.
And I had to get it. They didn't really get it. I know Chris. Well, I wanted it so bad. And I explained the story to Jess, and I think she about walked out on me in the store. But how can you pass this up, guys? I mean, this is quality action figure. It's, figure that I'd just add that to my tinfoil hat collection of stuff.
Let me jump in. Said a bad week this week. Lost another pet. My buddy Rex, 8 years old, came home from work. Back legs weren't working. It came out of nowhere. Took that ride to emergency vet. Unexpected. Never thought it would happen. Had an enlarged heart that was a genetic defect, which caused 2 blood clots in his legs. Had to let him go. Tough week. Trying to keep it together for the podcast because I love that guy so much. Ed, what do you got this week?
Oh man, sorry to hear that, brother. They're
Mm.
our four-legged friends. They're part of the family, and it's always sad to lose them. So, and with your brother, I totally get it. It's no fun. So that's all I got, man.
I wrote a book about it. That's how I feel.
Mm.
Thomas, close us out this week.
I've got a couple birthday shout outs this week. First, friend of the podcast, Darren. It says dad. Billy Garsha, who's like my second dad. It'll be his 79th birthday this coming week. And second, my brother from another mother. I've known him since I was 8, Mark Green, who I haven't seen him in a while. He joined the Air Force and he was in there 20 years, retired. He's living out in North Dakota now with his wife. And just want to tell you happy birthday, and I miss you, bro.
So, kind of a eclectic podcast this week. A lot of stuff going on. I knew going into this, had to get that out. It was a little tough, but episode 75 coming up. Hopefully, we got a big cast. Trying to yuck it up. It'll be fun, and I just want to tell everybody, watch the watch along we did this week. Something to check out. Hopefully we can do more. It's already got over 100 views. So check out Chris's stuff. I uploaded a video of Brad's trip to Dallas Toys. It's coming out, and we got so much stuff in the works, and that's what I'm just onward and upward. The road is open for the 1973 podcast. Later, everyone.
Cream rises up.